What's up, listeners? You're catching yet another episode of the JCU Podcast. I'm your host, Sean, and you're tuning into the podcast where me and the JCU crew get together to just catch up. Each and every episode, we will bring a topic of discussion, which we will dive into head first for you, our faithful listeners. You can catch us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Listen Notes, and RSS feeds by searching for the JCU Podcast. And also on Twitter at JCU Podcast 1. That's JCU Podcast number 1. We're also branching out to game streaming, where you can find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/JCU Network. We're going to be streaming hopefully at least once a week or more. We expand that as the audience demand grows, but also you can catch us on the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is at JCU Network as well. So if you want to support us, please do all the chosen platform things. Follow, like, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss a new episode. And now it's time for the JCU roll call. And he's already got a magic card up. Just now noticing that. Okay. You know what? Just for that, up first, there are thousands of discarded copies of him buried in a desert somewhere, but somehow we got our hands on this one. Before all of that, it's Ian.
Wait. I have the game that you're referencing. It is actually on my shelf. Hang on.
And while he goes to
Are you not going to give him a? You're not going to give him a silly nickname this time?
That was the silly nickname. He's one of the copies of the discarded game.
He's too excited.
Oh, I thought he was just calling him Ian.
Yeah. Wait, I always call him Ian. I just always insult him first.
I have a copy of E.T. for the Atari 2600. This is the game. This is one of the ones that was dropped in the landfill and discarded.
See?
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah. Like, this is the game that caused the entire North American video game market to crash back in 1983.
It's a piece of American history, just like him. Anyway, this guy was turned away from the set of 300 for looking so good. The producers were afraid there'd be too many women climaxing in the movie theaters. It's Jim.
I don't know where you get this stuff, buddy. I don't know where you get it. I love it.
And this guy is in more
JCU!
Yes, it is. This guy is in more demand than the latest iPhone, and fortunately not engineered for planned obsolescence. It's Caleb.
Not engineered for planned obsolescence. That's great. I like that a lot.
Unfortunately, the only member of this podcast to actually win an award for his musical contributions to anything is not with us today, but that's Nathan. But he'll be joining us next week, hopefully. We're fingers crossed. He's going through some stuff right now, and we're with him. So, for now, oh yeah, of course, I forgot to introduce myself. And of course, this summer, the revolution that will not be televised, but still brought to you by the power of the internet. Coming at you from the seat of power in the belly of the beast known as our nation's capital. Everybody get on your feet and hail to the chief. It's the alternative president of the United Nerds of America. It's me, I'm Sean. Yes. Play my trumpets. Yes. Play them loudly. And now, for today's topic, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat. Welcome, one and all, to the first ever JCU Awards, where today we will be dishonoring the most ignorant shit to ever happen throughout history. And I am your host and the one and only judge. Each of my fellow JCU crew here today will provide their examples of the absolute worst things to happen in the following fields: video games, movies, music, consumer products, and social media / media platforms / content creators. So that's all one category there. These will be scored in a similar manner to our Joker episode, and after all the arguments have been made for all the topics, I will present the awards for the winners, losers, whatever. So,
are we competing against each other? I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah.
you're competing against each other.
I was like, this is something I hated. I am woefully unprepared for this crap.
I'm very prepared for this crap.
Let's begin. So we'll start with You know, the one who says he's so prepared. Let's start with Ian because he decides he wants to be prepared. Let's go.
All right.
Be prepared.
So which category shall we start with first?
We're going to start with video games.
All right. So, as some of you may know, I used to do a channel that talked about video games and stuff, and I have...
Channel that you don't want to talk about anymore?
Yes, the channel that I don't want to talk about anymore. And
Channel that must not be named.
Yeah. And I had so many options. I had so many options for, like, video games that are just bad. I didn't want to just choose video games that are, like, deliberately bad or video games that were, like, laden with a lot of microtransactions or just, like, games that were released before they were finished and stuff like that. Like, I was thinking SimCity 2013 is pretty bad, and that one really pissed me off. But there's a game series that is relevant right now that I feel like is probably one of the most disappointing game series because it was good, and then it was great, and then it was still pretty good. And ever since, it's just, like, there have been so many games that are just bad, iffy, mediocre, just, like, it's really kind of awful. I'm going to go with the Paper Mario series.
Okay, so what is it about
the series as a whole?
Yes, the Paper Mario series as a whole. The first two games are basically just your standard RPG style game where you've got people on this side and then they take turns and fight the people on that side, and if you press action buttons at a certain time, you'll do more damage or take less damage. They play out like a regular RPG, like your Final Fantasy games, your really Final Fantasy is the one that I'm thinking of, but it's more cartoony and stripped down. Super Paper Mario decided to do away with the turn-based combat and make it just an action-oriented game, but there was still a lot of imagination and fun to it. Paper Mario Sticker Star, Paper Mario Color Splash, and the new one, Paper Mario Origami King, are... I hesitate to call them bad, but they're horrendously disappointing, because it's no longer turn-based combat. It's now, like... With your combat, there's a limited number of things you can do. Like, there's a limited number of times you can jump on someone. Like, really, really honestly think about that. A Mario game where you can only jump on enemies a certain number of times. That's just fundamentally wrong design. Like, I shouldn't have to collect a bunch of items just to be able to use the jump command. And the games itself, like, a big deal about the games, they always had this sort of self-referential, like, style humor to it, and that was, part of it, but the games have really just hammered it home within the last few ones, that the self-referential style is now the only kind of humor that they have, almost as if, like, a wink and a nod to the camera every so often can be funny, but every few minutes just ends up being really annoying and played out. Plus, on top of it, the games just feel like they've gotten lazier in design. There used to be a bunch of imaginative characters. There used to be a wide variety of funny, different characters. In the last, at least 2 games, the only NPCs are Toads. Just imagine that. Any JRPG, Final Fantasy game you've ever played, pick one secondary character. Every single character in the game, and I am not exaggerating, is a copy of that one character. Every single NPC is a Toad. Every single one. It just feels like it's lazy. It feels like they've gotten lazier to try and make the games different somehow, to try and make them not just another turn-based RPG, except that the game design and the gameplay of the first 2 games are what made people like them. The third game was a bit different, but still felt more Paper Mario-esque. The last 3 games have all just been huge disappointments. It's not Paper Mario, and it's not even fun anymore. It just feels like it's a lazy sequel, a lazy sequel, a lazy sequel. So I submit the Paper Mario series.
All right, so that's our first nominee for worst thing in video games. So next up for the nominee will be Caleb. Caleb, what's your worst nominee for video games?
It took me a while to get through this one because I try not to play bad games. So I'm going to choose Red Dead Online. Not Red Dead Redemption 2, just Red Dead Online.
Caleb, your audio's cutting out a little bit.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Try what we did last time.
Yeah. Check 1, 2. You guys hear me?
Very crackly.
It's a little crackly.
Check 1, 2.
Don't worry, I'll edit this part out. I have that power. I have the technology. I have the technology. I just don't want to spend a lot of money on it.
Check.
You remember that, Ian?
Let's go.
I have the technology. I just don't want to. Oh yeah, that was the $600 man.
He's really got a trash can for a leg.
Oh yeah.
I feel like still a little bit crackly.
I would say just go for it.
Okay.
Try what did we tell him to move back from the mic last time, or was that it? Maybe that helps.
That's where I had started. I started back from it.
Okay. No worries then.
Okay. So I chose Red Dead Online. Not Red Dead Redemption 2 as a game per se, but just the Red Dead Online aspect of it.
Yeah,
this
that is
garbage. Like, starting out, like, you couldn't even access Red Dead Online for, I think, about 2 to 3 months, probably about 4 months. And when you got into it, there was zero content for it. And as time progressed, they slowly added more. But at this time, even with them adding like another like pack to it, there's still not enough content. They have about like 5 now, but 5 jobs that you can do that are like campsite based, and you can go out, like you can trade, you can like hunt animals and trade for furs, you can liquor, sell bootleg liquor, and shoot, and it leaves me on this one. Anyway, there's lack of content, and with lack of content comes a lot of griefers.
Yeah.
That, like, even if you are trying to make progress, and even though there's game modes you can play to just combat other players, there's guys that just run around and just shoot you for no reason and burn all your stuff.
Yeah.
Which actually happened to me. I was like selling a bunch of liquor, and some guy ran up, shot me in the head, and then continued to burn all of my moonshine.
Yeah,
that's like
that's how it goes in real life too.
Yeah.
That's how it goes in real life too. Every time you try to sell some liquor, some guy comes up and blows your head off and burns all your moonshine. Man, I've had that happen to me.
I messaged him. I said, "Hey, man, why did you do that?" He said, "Because I can," and then just ran off.
Give it too much power. Much power.
It sounds a lot like the early days of the game Rust, like that. Especially within the first year of that game coming out, because it was one of those early access games, everyone who got in there, like, you could build your own base, you could build your own arsenal, but the majority of the game was just griefers. People would just run up to new players and be like, hand over what you got, and if they don't answer right away, bam, 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 and just take their stuff and run, and it's just, that was a big problem early on.
That's the problem that you have when you create games where people can actually interact with other people. people prove that they're shit.
Which is the known risk. So like it's kind of fine to me. I just wish there was like options within the game for you to have.
So you'll maybe
without
turn that
running
off.
into it. Yeah.
I only want to be shot by, computer generated enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And comparatively, like Grand Theft Auto 5, it has pretty much the same stuff, but just there's way more of it. There's you can own your own home and your skyscraper and businesses, and you can employ people. And Red Dead Online, I guess because of how much is in GTA 5, is there's just not enough of it, and they don't spend any time putting more into that game, probably because of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but that's pretty much my take.
All right, then. So the third nominee in the category of worst video game stuff that ever happened online, or not online, but whatever. Anyway, Jim, what's your nominee? You're pointing the wrong direction.
Okay, so this is going to be difficult to compare because I took a different approach. Like at first I was saying like, well, I could easily go for some like an individual game like Mega Man X7 or Final Fantasy 14 before Realm Reborn or something along those lines, where it's just like a very irritating game aspects like voice acting or gameplay or whatnot. But me, I usually try to think something a bit more personal, like what was something that was disappointing to me. And honestly, one of the biggest disappointments for me in video gaming has to be Mighty Number 9.
Yeah.
I am embarrassed to tell you I put like $200 into that Kickstarter because I really wanted that game to be a success. I wanted to see Keiji Inafune make the next Mega Man franchise. I wanted the swag, the T-shirts, the books, the plushie that came with, like all the things that go to Kickstarter. I was so hyped for this. And then the game was just... It wasn't the worst game ever. It had some things that I didn't really enjoy gameplay-wise, but like, with all the hype, even some of the things they promised weren't released. Like it was supposed to be ported to a lot more consoles because of Kickstarter tiers that ended up getting. I ended up getting it on PS4, I believe, and just it was such a letdown.
Yeah.
It really soured the entire Kickstarter experience for me, and how much I wanted to contribute to, because I think it's a great way to, help gamers make the kinds of games we want to see made, putting our money as our voice into these developments. And it was just such a huge disappointment that it's like, I can't say it's the worst game ever. It was definitely for me one of the worst moments in video gaming, just as such a letdown from someone who pretty much shaped my childhood gaming, because I grew up with the Mega Man and Mega Man X series games, and that was just such a huge disappointment that I had to put Mighty Number 9 as my worst gaming moment.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with that one. That's a good one. That is definitely a good one. I'm scoring these now. We'll come back to these at the end of the show.
So, Sean, has Jared Leto ever made any video games?
You know what? Jared Leto has thankfully not made any video games. But
couldn't have saved that for the end.
I'm going to tell you this right now. Jared Leto's video game would probably be the worst video game of all time. Okay? And I'm going to explain to you why. Jared Leto's video game would be the worst thing that ever happened in video games in the history of video games, because Jared Leto is such a method actor that he just screw everything up. He'd probably be like the method. He'd spend like 20 years studying the habits of every video gamer alive, and then he'd try to craft that into the most cinematic video game experience that he could possibly formulate, right? So it would be something akin to, The Last of Us, but it would suck. So it would be like it'd be like The Last of Us met what's the name of that crap? Shenmue or whatever the crap that name is.
Shenmue?
Yeah, that one. It would be like that, but with like a cinematic. It would be the most beautiful looking game ever.
Oh,
but it would suck. It would be like The Room, the game.
It would be like Shenmue is, I think, what you're talking about.
It would be like Last of Us meets The Room, only with way more method acting. And then instead of actually, instead of just having a character model die, he'd probably just have to actually kill himself every time he died in the game. So then, he'd just die, which would probably be a benefit to all mankind. But
for the record, I looked it up. It's pronounced Shenmue.
Shenmue.
Don't actually pronounce the E. Yeah, Shenmue.
Yeah. The acting is so terrible in that game. I've watched the game streamed like a movie, and it's heart wrenching to think that this is a video game. And anyway, that would be.
We could spend a whole podcast talking on voice acting, especially '90s video game voice acting.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's some bad PlayStation voice acting.
I was gonna go. If I had been competing, I would have gone with the. I was actually planning on going with the laugh from Final Fantasy X. That's the worst moment in all video gaming. Yeah,
I'm not even gonna imitate it.
Yeah, that Jim already nailed it. That's pretty much it. That was exactly it.
I don't know. I'll still take that over Mega Man X4 and Mega Man 8's voice acting any day.
Oh my god!
Wowie.
What am I fighting for?
Yeah, that's it.
Evil.
Oh god,
we're almost a Jill sandwich.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich. You're right, Barry.
God, remember?
It's not even exaggerated. That's what they do in the game.
Remember when we thought that was like the height of gaming technology?
Yes.
Remember when that was the height of gaming technology?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, remember when we thought like that was the best gaming could possibly be? We were like, "Oh my god, this is so realistic looking."
I'm literally a fly on the wall, guys.
All right. So moving on to the next category, the category of movies. Movie. Ian, what is your nominee for the worst thing to happen in movies?
The Room. I'm sorry that it's a cliche, and I know we've talked about it already, but I've watched this damn thing. I have watched the entire movie multiple times. It is just so god awful. I do not buy into the fact that this was like so bad that it's good. And look, I've studied Tommy Wiseau. I've studied like his methods. I've watched the Disaster Artist. I've read the book. Like I wanted to try and understand just how this crazy individual would get something like this done. And the fact that he ponied up $5 million of his own money to make this movie. And it's just like everything that you think you should do to make a film, he just breaks all the rules. Now, as opposed to a filmmaker by, say, the name Wes Anderson, who breaks all the rules but does it in a very aesthetic choice, Tommy Wiseau just doesn't know what he's doing. I don't care that there are people out there who love this film. I don't care that there are people out there who are just like, oh, it's, so bad that it's good. No, it's not even so bad that it's good. It literally falls off the scale. There's like good, not bad but kind of boring, so bad that it's good, The Room. The Room is down there. It's off camera. Like, it's so terrible that it's just hard to watch. I don't buy into the fact that it's enjoyable to watch a giant pile of shit film like The Room. I can't. I've tried. It's not possible. The Room is quite possibly the worst film I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right, so Caleb, what's your nominee for worst thing that happened in movies?
So we all know, I think his name is pronounced Uwe Boll.
Uwe Boll!
Like, he has some really bad movies. And, like, when I was searching this week for movies to just watch, and, like, maybe I could just, grade it that way, I couldn't even get past movie trailers of, like, Blood Rain or House of the Dead. Not even past the trailers. It was terrible.
What about In the Name of the King with Jason Statham? Yeah.
I can get through a trailer of that at least, but I don't know if I could watch it. But,
don't bother. It was garbage. It was.
But
so
there was
terrible.
one I watched early on. I think it was the first Uwe film that I had ever watched, and it was on Netflix at one point, and it's called Rampage. Now,
wait, is that like based on the video game Rampage or
no?
Okay, because he does a lot of that.
This is an active shooter fantasy movie called Rampage.
Oh God,
never even heard of it.
Wait, active shooter fantasy movie?
It's basically an active shooter fantasy.
Oh Jesus!
Like it's a guy who gets a gun, who's ordered a gun through his best friend's home.
And
then like there's a day where he deals with his everyday problems and the people he hates, and then the next day he goes about and basically shoots everybody he can in the town almost.
Oh, okay. So this is basically Postal the movie.
Except he also made Postal the movie.
Wait, they did?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
That movie has a sequel, for the record. Rampage has a sequel.
Yes, it does.
It has two sequels.
Never.
Oh God, it does have two sequels.
They let this man anywhere near a camera again?
God.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Why do they keep letting him near cameras?
It's a long story.
Looks like he hasn't made anything since 2017, at least.
Thank the Lord.
Well, that could be the next bad thing of 2020. A new movie.
Oh God. Oh no.
It's not on my bingo card.
Makes another movie called Coronavirus.
Oh, dear.
Oh no! Don't.
Oh my God! You know what? We probably are. He'll hear this somehow. It's like he's probably got like one of those Google alerts for his name being mentioned on a podcast. Oh crap! Now we've done it.
Oh no, he's gonna kickbox us, isn't he? Remember?
It's loose now. He's gonna hear about this idea and he's gonna make this movie. Dang it, Caleb! All right, you know what? Okay, I'll put it down.
I just found the best thing ever. In November 2018, Bull was the subject of a second documentary film titled "Fuck You All: The Uwe Boll Story."
Yeah, that's the title of a documentary of a man who shouldn't be making movies.
Why?
Good God! Like, talk about like you were saying earlier. Like, you gotta know the rules in order to be able to effectively break them. This guy doesn't even like. This guy knows the rules and doesn't even care.
Yeah.
He's like just out there just to F with us. I hate you, Uwe. I hate him with a red hot fiery passion. Didn't he direct Dungeons and Dragons?
No.
Oh, okay.
He did not.
He kind of looks like Rush Limbaugh.
He kind of.
Look at his picture on Wikipedia. He kind of looks like Rush Limbaugh.
You know
Weird.
what? Yeah.
I'm just trying to find more reasons not to like this guy.
Apparently,
we have enough. We have enough reasons not to like you, Bull. That guy can go get stuff. Anyway, Jim, what's your nominee?
Okay, so while I actually do enjoy movies that are so bad they're good or so bad they're funny, I tried to avoid some of the more obvious ones, and I tried again to go for the ones that were more personally offensive. And this was actually very difficult. I had to give this one a tie. There are two movies that are equally the worst to me for almost the exact same reason, because they took something that I love, cherish, care so deeply about, and then shat all over it. And those are Avatar: The Last Airbender and Dragon Ball Evolution. I'm sorry, but I can't choose which one I hate more.
You only get one.
Both of those.
Dragon
You
Ball.
only get one.
Has
You
to
got
be Dragon
one.
Ball.
But Shyamalan.
Yes.
But James Wong. But Shyamalan. But Wong.
Ian, you are gonna go toe to toe for which one you should pick right now.
Oh, really?
Because you're saying
go for it.
You think it's Dragon Ball.
Yes, I do.
Okay, you got to explain to me why.
Okay, well, okay. At least, I deeply dislike the Avatar movie, the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie. It's really bad, but there are at least some competently done scenes in it, and it at least follows the storyline of the first season. At least it does that. Dragon Ball Evolution is nothing like any character ever from any Dragon Ball movie. You basically took a teen superhero film and added Dragon Ball names to it. There's nothing about Dragon Ball Evolution that matches up to Dragon Ball. There's no Krillin. Piccolo is completely like why? Why does he look
even their concept of the Kamehameha is just oh my god, he makes a good point. A really good point.
And the fact that he becomes like how he becomes Ozaru, the fact that that Bulma doesn't act the way she does, the fact that Yamcha doesn't act the way he does in the TV show. Dragon Ball Evolution is nothing at all like the TV show. Avatar: The Last Airbender is like the TV show, it's just badly done. But it's like the TV show, at least somewhat kind of close to. Evolution is just bad.
I would argue that the fact that it's like the TV show is why it's worse. Is because it tarnishes the actual TV show. Dragon Ball Evolution, you can just pretend that doesn't exist.
Except it does!
Yeah, I know. But that's the thing. You can pretend that it doesn't exist and still enjoy Dragon Ball. But now you have this thing that exists that is actually tarnishing the actual good show. There are people right now who will never watch Avatar: The Last Airbender because of that god-awful movie. And they associate the name of actually Academy Award winning Emmy Award winning television show with this hilariously terrible movie in which I could say equally nothing about any of the characters is right. First of all, Aang isn't a white dude. Let's just put that out there. Katara and Sokka Earthbending, firebending.
Earthbending was just embarrassing.
Yeah. All the bending was embarrassing. There was no good bending in that movie whatsoever. None, not at all. Nothing. They didn't get airbending right. They hella didn't get firebending right. I mean, come on. It's like they shoot. These dudes are so badass. They literally shoot fire out of their hands and feet and mouths. And you've got them like they can't do. You've got to have fire over here. And then all the earth bending. What the f was that? They did like a 20-minute dance to move a rock. One rock.
God damn it! It was so bad.
20-minute dance. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Boom.
Yes, exactly. Like, and then a rock the size of this pen floats at the enemy very slowly. It's like
to move this a
look, I'm sorry. It tarnished not only the name of Avatar: The Last Airbender, a damn good cartoon, but it also tarnished the name of M. Night Shyamalan, who I would argue is actually a decent director, but he keeps screwing things up so terribly.
Agreed.
That he's just like, it's like, what are you doing, man? Mm-hmm. Why are you making these decisions? Okay, so I'm done.
Okay, so I definitely see both your points. Like, on the one hand, I agree with Ian that, like, if it's practically unrecognizable, you can almost ignore it. It's like how Ian likes to ignore the fact that the true worst Zelda games are the CDI games, where Ian will just say
they don't exist.
They don't exist.
Yeah, they're not.
Exactly.
They're not on a Nintendo system. They're not Nintendo games.
At the same time, I get where Sean is coming from, and they're like, this is like offensive because it feels like it should be right, but it's so damn wrong. It's so damn wrong. You know what? I'm going to stand where I was and say I'm putting them both up there, and I will let the judge weigh that as he wishes. Because, goddamn it, I can't choose. It's like trying to choose your least favorite child of two really shitty kids.
We're trying to choose which is a worse movie, a half star out of 10 or a 1 star out of 10. It's just like they're both bad.
Both so awful. God,
again, the thing was just that they were offensive.
What the hell?
They're just freaking offensively bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then
to the fan point, like I don't care if it's like a bad movie from like a writing perspective or a cinematography perspective. I care that it's offensive to the fan base it was trying to appeal to.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it worse for me.
You know what? At least Chow Yun-fat had a good time. You know, at least he had a good time. You know that guy.
that if it wasn't for my brothers and my cousins, I probably, after watching the movie The Last Airbender, I probably wouldn't have watched the show at all.
Yeah, see, that's my point.
Oh, you dodged a bullet there. Then I'm so sorry that you had to feel that way. Oh man, because the show is fantastic.
It is fantastic. I love it.
I mean, even as much crap as Legend of Korra gets, I still like Legend of Korra too. Like,
I mean, the biggest crime of Legend of Korra is that it's not as good as Avatar.
Yeah,
and that's just because Avatar is so freaking good. It doesn't mean Korra is bad. It's just not as good.
It's like you just got finished eating like a porterhouse steak, and now you're mad that you got like a double cheeseburger.
What's wrong with the double cheeseburger?
The double cheeseburger is also from the same steakhouse.
It means they use the same beef. It's probably the same quality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to put them both on there for now. We'll come back to it later. Anyway. All right, so now we go to the category of music. I was really hoping Nathan was going to be here for this one. I'm really sad that he's not here for this one because he would have rocked at this one, but because he would have pulled out something hilariously obscure that none of us had ever heard of.
I think I've got that, actually. I think I've got something that's kind of obscure that you guys might not understand.
All right, well, you're up anyway, so go ahead. What is it?
Who here knows who John Cage is?
John Cage.
I know Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat.
John Cage. Is he a director for video games?
No. He was a music composer from like... He was born in like 1913 and he passed away in like 1998. But,
okay.
Yeah.
92.
Okay.
Looking at him now.
Yeah. So John Cage is most famous for one big composition that I like. It feels like he did some sort of a long con to convince people that it's like he's like the guy who sold the pet rock, you know? John Cage wrote a composition called 4 minutes 33 seconds. Here's how the composition goes.
Okay, because for the sake of time, we can't actually listen to silence.
Yeah, I know. It's 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence. That's it. There's nothing else. It's silence. How the hell do you claim to have composed 4 minutes and 33 seconds of goddamn silence? That's not... that you can't... Oh, but it's different each time you hear it because you're listening to the room or you're listening to something else or someone coughs or there's a car outside. It's pretentious bullshit. I am so annoyed that this is a real thing. It's not. It's silence. You cannot compose silence. It's just not possible, and it annoys the hell out of me. And there are people who are going to tweet at us or put into some sort of a YouTube comment section who are going to try and defend 433. 433 is pretentious music composition bullshit, and I am annoyed as hell by it.
Yeah, I agree. I can understand that. That makes sense. That is a diabolical thing.
Yeah. That how do you
get away with that?
Yeah, how do you sell it? It's like I sold you a can of air. It's like somehow I was able to literally sell you a can of air.
Is it even a can?
No. I sold you air. Look, here it is. It's in my hands.
I sold you the air in your own room. You literally own this air, and I just sold it to you.
4 minutes, 33 seconds is not a real composition. I will die on this hill.
All right, so Caleb, what's your nominee for worst thing ever in music?
Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow. Picture.
Oh God,
That is
What?
not only is just a terrible song to get stuck in your head, it's literally a terrible song. Like, it's about a guy who cheated on his girlfriend. She broke up with him, and now he's looking at a picture of her while his girlfriend's in the next room, and he wants to be with her. Like, he's cheating on the person. Like, he's emotionally cheating on his girlfriend with the person he cheated on. Like, it's just a terrible, terrible situation.
That just sounds like a country song.
Yeah, but it's Kid Rock. So, I mean, I'm just gonna put it this way: if Kid Rock being involved automatically knocks it up by like 10 points for terrible.
Thank you.
Like if Kid Rock had been involved in the Holocaust, it.
Wow! No, stop! We're I'm putting an end to that. We're gonna stop right there. We're gonna stop right there. That's over.
You don't think anything could get worse than that, but there you go. They had to listen to Kid Rock while all that was happening.
We're done. No, it's over. That's stopping right now. Caleb, please continue, and please do not say that anymore.
I was thinking yesterday, like, oh crap, I haven't chosen for my music category yet, and like the first person that entered my mind was Kid Rock.
Sure, sure.
And, like,
the American Badass himself.
You know, American Badass is great, and Ball with the Ball was awesome. It's some good crunk music, but as he delves into the product,
conservative country music phase,
conservative country music, it totally lost me, especially when he came out with Picture with Sheryl Crow.
It's ironic that he's diving into conservative country music, considering he's from Detroit.
Yeah.
Like
he's from Detroit
of all
and
time.
Like he created a hip hop crew himself and taught people how to rap and dance, and he was discovered by Be Nice.
Yeah. And then he's just gonna dive into country music somehow. It's like, I mean, I guess,
I mean, maybe on his part it was like a money point of view. Like, this
probably
is my
money.
audience.
Yeah.
So, let me just.
Well, I mean, if what's his name can do Old Town Road, I guess we can let Kid Rock country music. What's that cat's name again? I keep forgetting.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
No, the other one. The actual the guy.
The guy.
The other guy. Oh, cat. Why? See, that's the thing. Nobody remembers his name.
Ride my horse down the Old Town Road.
Lil Nas X.
Yeah, Lil Nas X.
Featuring Billy Ray Cyrus.
Lil
Nas X.
Ooh.
Nas, Lilnas X.
Lil Nas X. Yeah. See, here's the thing about Lil Nas X that you might not know. He's a freaking genius.
He is a genius.
Because he managed to keep that song on the top of the charts for like forever by continuing to remix it. Like, he must have remixed that song like 42 times, and he managed to keep it at the top for because every iteration of the remix is considered the same song. He managed to keep his song on the charts for like a record-breaking amount of time. That kid is a genius.
Wait, record-breaking? I thought the Killers still have the record for like.
I don't know if it's record-breaking or not. All I know is that it's a hilariously long amount of time that he managed to keep his song on the charts. He managed to make a whole bunch of money, and this is for a kid who basically was a nobody before all of this.
From what I remember though, I think isn't it true that like The Killer's Mr. Brightside has been on the top of like the British Billboard 100 charts since it came out for like 16 years. It's still on the top of the charts.
Like British charts, and I don't think it's on the top of the charts. I think it's just on the charts.
Top 100. I thought it was top 100.
Well, yeah, it might
Mr. Brightside is currently in the first place with 206 weeks in the top 100.
Jesus fucking Christ! Holy crap!
Why the hell?
That's a long time.
Rightfully so.
Why the hell? Seriously, it's not that great of a song.
I agree. Actually.
I got no problem with that.
I agree.
Even their best song. I would say it's not even their best song. I don't think.
No, it's not. Their best song is either
I would
all
have
these things
preferred,
I've done.
or somebody told me.
Yeah.
Or more popular at least. This Mr. Brightside, really?
How many? 204.
Really? Sketchy. What do you want from him?
Yeah.
Really? And this is on the British charts?
Yeah.
People felt it, okay?
What the hell are you doing over there, Brit? Seriously, what's going on?
Enjoying good music. Thank you very much.
Britton, are you okay? Are you okay, Britton? Seriously, we can talk about this. Is something going on? Is this like a sign? Are you trying to send us a message that you're not okay? Is the Queen abusing you? Is that what you're trying to tell us? It's what it is. You can tell us. We're your cousins from America. We'll come help you. You know, we'll help you move. You know, if we've got a
They don't
nice.
want us anywhere near their country.
No,
You
they
kidding
don't.
me?
No, Britain, stay where you are. Do not come to America. We're fucked over here.
Ian, the other way, Ian. They don't
no,
want us
no.
anywhere near them.
Yeah, see, that's the point. We need the Britons to come over here so they can help us.
We need them
fix
to
it.
save us.
We need them to save us, and we can help save them. See, it's a mutual saving thing. We'll come get you.
Right?
Jim, what is your music?
And from my perspective, I'm this way for you.
Yes, but I'm the one
Anyway.
filming it, so
So it looks weird from my angle.
nah.
Okay, this was honestly the hardest category for me. Like, there were so many ways to approach this. I mean, one thought was, and no one's gonna get this of me, but like, I was devastated when I heard that the Megas weren't gonna do an album for Mega Man 4 like they did for 3 and 2. But like, no one cares about that but me apparently. Other than that, like, it's hard not to just go with like something like Justin Bieber, Rebecca Black, Robin Thicke. Like it just felt too. I don't know. Like I just didn't want to say like I hate this artist or hate this album. So I'm gonna go with like something sad. Like saddest moments for me with music. I'm this one also was like really close, kind of like the last one. Deaths of David Bowie and Neil Peart. Probably the two just heaviest, saddest moments for me personally regarding music. If I had to pick one over the other, I hate to say it, but I might have to go Neil Peart over David Bowie just because of how big Rush is to me. David Bowie, that one really broke my heart. It was a really tough call there.
Neil Peart is the drummer.
Neil Peart's the drummer from Rush,
Mm-hmm.
and primary songwriter. Most of the infusion of sci-fi and fantasy in Rush's music in the 70s was due primarily to Neil Peart. I mean, he wrote songs about Ayn Rand novels and Tolkien novels and the future and technology and just the human experience. Songs about different styles of fear, the personal fear, the fear of the unknown, fear of nuclear devastation, so many concepts that just resonated, really just infusing philosophy into the music that I just loved that so much. So when I heard that he died, I'd always held a little bit of hope that Rush would one day tour again, that I'd be able to see them one last time because I missed their R40 tour. When he died, that was just the worst day in music for me. So sorry, this isn't so much like this is the stupidest or I hate this the most thing. This is more of like this was the most saddest, devastating, tragic thing for me. I know there's probably others that would mean more to other people, but for me, Neil Peart followed very closely by David Bowie. Those are my worst moments in music.
All right.
That's fair.
And
My worst
personal here.
music. My worst moment in music, if I was competing, would have been the foundation of 30 Seconds to Mars, because because the day that Jared Leto got involved in music was the day the music died.
Oh, Richie Valens, too soon. I'm too soon.
No, Richie Valens
so young.
definitely got nothing on this, because you know why?
That's the day the music died, man.
No. The day the music died was the day Jared Leto and 30 Seconds to Mars came on the scene. You know why? Because Jared Leto's still alive and he's still capable of making music. That's why. The music is gonna continue dying until he stops. I think we all know the worst movie, because I didn't mention this earlier, but the worst movie is any movie with Jared Leto in it. That's my entry for worst movie ever. This any and every movie with Jared Leto in it, including the new Morbius movie, because that's just gonna ruin the MCU. It probably doesn't even have anything to do with it, but you know, Spider-Man, Morbius, I don't even care. It's Jared Leto. Jared Leto gets involved in your movie, it's gonna suck. That's what happens.
So what happened to Suicide Squad?
He taints
Apparently,
everything he touches.
Only remaining members of the band are Jared and Shannon Leto.
Yeah, see, everybody else left because they knew what was good for him. All right, so we're moving on to the next category, which is consumer products. The worst events in consumer, or worst things in consumer products. Ian, what do you got what's your nominee?
So, my consumer product is one. This one's kind of an odd choice, but you need to go with me on this journey. Has anyone here ever been like a picky eater when they were younger? Like their parents would make something that's probably a perfectly normal thing, but then you would just be like, I don't want to eat this because whatever, blah blah blah. So one year, basically, I had come down with either the flu or a cold or just some sort of a like I had gotten sick somehow, and my parents had noticed a commercial on TV for a thing called Theraflu. Now, it's supposedly some sort of a like tea that you soak, and it's supposedly really nice and helps warm your throat, helps stop sore throats and whatnot. I took they made it for me on the day I was sick. I took one sip of this stuff and nearly vomited.
Oh.
And my parents were just like, Ian, you are overreacting. My dad walked over, took one sip, and nearly vomited. He's like, oh, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted. I don't know what the hell is in Theraflu, but it's feckin' gross. I don't know. I don't even know if it works or not, but the last time I had it, it tastes awful. Like, I don't know if it would be like licking a Nintendo Switch cartridge awful, but it tastes awful. So that's my nomination for worst consumer product, is a really bad cold remedy called Theraflu. It's feckin' gross.
Alrighty. So Caleb, what's your what's your nominee for worst consumer product? Worst thing in consumer products.
I don't know if you guys have seen this guy on TV yet, but have you guys heard of My Pillow?
My Pillow?
No.
Yeah, My Pillow. Oh,
I think so. Yeah, the like the personalized pillow or whatever. It's like it conforms to your face or your head or something.
I mean, that's what he says it does.
Yeah.
Like a tall guy with like a mustache and a weird
Yeah.
hair. Yeah. And that's my choice. And because not only is it just annoying to just be worst with these ads on late night TV, but in the beginning, this guy sold this pillow as if it could like cure PTSD and like other sleep disorders like insomnia. Like he literally listed on the ad that it could cure these diseases. And it wasn't until like 3 years later or something that he took that off of the ad. But it's literally just a pillow. And I just I have a thing for items that are what they are, kind of like
Overhyped.
In the selling air and music that is literally just silence. For a guy just literally put like this cotton in a sheet and say, "Here's this pillow. It's the best pillow that's ever lived." Like, I hate it to no end.
Is it alive though? Can it be the best pillow to ever live if it's not alive? This is the questions that bind us. It is the question that binds us.
Every pillow of the My Pillow line is a living thing that's gonna kill all of the people.
Yeah,
kind of like
it's gonna kill all disease. It's the Jesus of pillows. All right, Jim, what's your nominee for worst consumer products?
Okay, so first off, I thought this was consumer products / businesses. So like, at first I had I'd written down. You may remember solar roadways. Solar roadways.
Oh
This
yeah.
thing- Okay, so they came out in like 2006 was when their company launched, but they were really big in the early 2010s as like, this is going to be the next revolutionary thing. We're going to have solar panels with LED lights in the streets, and they'll be able to change for traffic conditions. They'll be able to heat up and melt the snow and like all these many things. And it's like, this is going to be a great new energy saving thing. There were so many problems with it that a lot of people saw from the start as like, no, this we don't have the technology to make this practically work. Anytime someone would comment about it on YouTube, people would be like, "Oh, you're just saying that you just don't care about green energy and saving the world." And then finally down the road, like they start getting articles in Scientific American, and I think even like Elon Musk made a statement about it eventually. Like they have like, yeah, the technology just doesn't exist to make this thing practical. The people who even made them had like a small patch of it set up to prove it, and it's like the LEDs wouldn't work right. They get scratched up, and you can see things. It was such a cool idea, but the technologies didn't exist. Because of what it represented, it really showed like people will not care about the science or the facts, the engineering, what makes it work or not work, if the idea is popular enough, if they want it to be true. That was my original like worst business idea. If you're going for like smaller consumer product things, then fuck it. Oreos makes a shit ton of weird ass flavors. Ever had a Swedish fish Oreo?
It existed.
Yeah, they did. They did have a Swedish fish Oreo.
That doesn't sound too terrible because it's still just sweet thing. I've never had it, so I don't know.
It's disgusting. I've had it. It's gross.
Sour Patch Kids cereal.
So if they've had some weird ass flavors. I'll let the judge decide this. If Solar Roadways if that qualifies, then that. If not, then I'll go with weird Oreo flavors.
Okay.
I'll take Solar Roadways. Let me see here. All right. So let me. I'm gonna cut out the social media category for the sake of time. We'll come back to that.
I was going to talk about Copa.
I mean, we can just say what it was going to be. I was going to nominate the U.S. Army having a Twitch channel because people get banned on there for mentioning the war atrocities that the U.S. has caused, which is funny.
Caleb, what were you going to say?
I didn't have one. I actually just overlooked that.
No.
I would have nominated Jared Leto's Twitter account.
There you go. Yeah.
And then also for consumer products, I would have nominated Clorox because Jared Leto once said that he uses Clorox to clean his hair.
Okay. All right, Judge. Who won?
Okay, I'm adding up the
What about
scores
comics?
now. Let's see here. You know what?
Comics, politics, news, any of that?
No, we'll come back to that on a different episode.
We just had those 5 categories.
Fine.
Yeah, for now.
We had way more than 5.
Let's see here. So, you know what? It probably might help me if I actually put this down on a piece of paper and just wrote it out. What? All right, you guys. What? Like seriously, who do you think should have won out of it?
I think I should win all categories, obviously.
Well, you didn't, but. But let's see here. All right, so in the category of video games, the nominees were Paper Mario series, Red Dead Online, and Mighty Number 9. And the winner is Mighty Number 9. Mighty Number 9 takes a bow.
It's fair.
It's the worst thing to happen in video games.
It's fair.
Other than Jared Leto's supposed involvement in any type of video game ever.
I think I almost went with E.T.
If Jared Leto ever gets involved in video games, it will become retroactively this podcast's worst thing that ever happened in video games. Anyway, as the category of movies, the nominees were The Room, UA Ball, and Avatar and Dragon Ball movies. And the winner was UA Ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just don't name it anymore.
That was a close one though, because I really wanted to give it to The Room, but the fact that UA Ball, the fact that Tommy Wiseau only made like one or possibly two movies, and UA Ball just keeps doing it. The fact that he's still at large, one out. He's like Carmen Sandiego. We can't ever get a hold of that guy. In the category of music, the nominees were John Cage in 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence, Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow's Picture, or The Death of Neil Peart. And the winner was John Cage, 40 minutes 33 seconds of silence. That is literally the word. That's not even music, and it happened to music.
Such bullshit.
Yes, it is. How?
And where was it? And in the category of consumer products, let's see here. The nominees were Theraflu, the My Pillow ads guy being way too impressed with his product's effectiveness, and Solar Roadways, technology not even existing. And the winner was the fact that Solar Roadways technology doesn't exist. It's kind of hard for your product to be a good thing for consumer products if it doesn't even exist.
Technology just wasn't good enough to make their dream a reality.
Yeah.
It's because it's such a cool idea, but technology just doesn't exist right now. Maybe someday, in future, LEDs will be better, solar energy absorption panels will be better. I don't know.
Hover cars, all the good stuff.
Oh yeah.
And when it comes right down to the scores, I'll start with third place. Third place is Ian with 7 points.
I haven't won any of these.
Second place was Jim with 8 points. And that means the first place was Caleb. You actually won with 9 points.
Let's go.
You actually stayed like either middle of the pack or worst thing. You stayed like middle of the pack or worst thing. Like UA Ball put you over the top.
Bonus points.
I can't
reached
deny
into, like the bottom
because you were like straight second on almost every category except for UA Ball. UA Ball is what you hit number 1.
UA Ball's pretty awful. I can't deny that.
Bottom of the anchovy bag.
Bottom of the anchovy bag.
Bottom of the anchovy bag.
I like that one. That was good.
God, the fact that guy's still at large irks me. Like the fact that Jared Leto's still at large, but one thing at a time.
One thing at a time. Together.
One thing at a time.
Oh God, no, no, God, no. UA Ball, if you're listening, which I know you are, you stay the hell away from Jared Leto, okay? Look, the two of you, I will not allow this axis of evil to exist the space of movies and film and music. There will be no crossover between
the
you.
consequences will be cataclysmic.
Like,
you better get Roland Emmerich in it.
I will find you.
Roland Emmerich is not that bad.
Roland Emmerich is not anywhere
but
near as bad as
Loves things being cataclysmic.
Well,
look. No, at the point of the terribleness of UA Ball and Jared Leto combined together, if Roland Emmerich actually got involved in that, he would actually make the situation better, not worse. Anyway, that's it for today,
word for it,
gentlemen. And now you are all caught up. And I want to thank each and every single one of you for tuning in. You could have been listening to any podcast in the world, but you are here with us, and we appreciate that. I want to thank our good friend Nathan for providing our themes. Hopefully we'll see him back next episode. So please check out his website at nathantownscomposer.com. Again, you can find us here at the JCU on iTunes, Spotify, RSS feeds, and listen notes. Also, you can find us on Twitch and YouTube as JCU Network. So please like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss a new episode. So for myself and the rest of the JCU crew here, to all of you JCU crewmates out there, it has been our pleasure, our privilege, and our honor to be with you today. This is us signing out. Remember to wash your hands, don't touch your face, and wear your masks because that's the right thing to do. And let's smack them curves, you guys. Peace. Smack that curve. Smack them curves. Smack them curves. Smack them curves.
Yo.
Smack them curves. Smack them curves.
curve smacking goes brrr.